From the New York Post, FBI raids former Hochul aide's $3.5 million Long Island home. So I'm not quite sure how the aide was able to buy a very expensive house, but this is going around, right? You see the FBI raiding Oakland Mayor Shang Tao. You see the FBI take down Kickback Kathy's former lieutenant governor, Brian Benjamin. You see the FBI going after Eric Adams, a fundraising assistant or whatever, and people were saying that they only did that to stop them from complaining about the migrants, which they were, getting a boatload, a literal busload of, I should say, from the southern border, and now they're dealing with migrants from the northern border. But all that aside, my name is Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It would help me a lot, and it would cost you nothing. But if you wanted to help me even more and spend some money, you would buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description. But they say, a former aide to Governor Kathy Hochul had her $3.5 million Long Island home raided by the FBI early Tuesday, law enforcement sources told the Post. So maybe they'll get to it. I don't know. I haven't read this yet. But how did she spend that much money on a house? She married into wealth. She didn't make this money working for Kickback Kathy, especially before she was the governor, or I guess at the beginning of her governorship. Who knows? The feds carried out the pre-dawn search at the 5-bedroom property where Linda Sun, one of Hochul's former deputy chiefs of staff, lives in a gated community in Manhasset, the sources said. The reason for that raid, first reported by the New York Times, wasn't immediately clear. Oh, we don't know. Same thing with Shang Tao. Oh, we don't know why she was. And then, of course, it was the most predictable, TV level Sopranos thing, waste management.
I'm in a waste management business. Everybody immediately assumes you're mobbed up.
Neither Sun, 40, nor her husband, Chris Hugh, 41, has been accused of any wrongdoing. Okay. No arrests were made during the raid, according to sources. The search warrant was obtained by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn. A spokesman for the office declined to comment on Wednesday. A heavy law enforcement presence was spotted outside the property for the duration of the raid, though it wasn't immediately clear if the feds seized anything. And look, I don't know. I can't connect these dots at all. But do these type of raids have anything to do with the absolute lawlessness at the border and the quote-unquote free stuff that you're giving the migrants and all the money that you're requesting that isn't going to anybody except through the pockets of bureaucrats? I don't know. That's allegedly. But what the hell is happening here? And, maybe we'll find out, but likely it will just trail off into the night and we'll never get any closure on any of this. I would predict it's going to be multiple years before we find out what Mayor Shang Tao out in Oakland and the waste management company was doing, right? You hear about it for 24, 48 hours, and then it just goes away. The couple had owned the expansive home that was raided until transferring it into a trust in March, property records show. Okay, there, nice house. Sun has worked in various government roles. So she's that's how she bought the house. Because she's been cutting backdoor deals, and that's how she got the house, I assume, allegedly. Across the Empire State for 15 years, including both the Hochul and ex-Governor Andrew Cuomo administrations, according to her LinkedIn profile. And of course, Andrew Cuomo stepped down for playing grab ass with the intern, which I don't think that's the reason why he stepped down. But it is a complete mess. While working as a Hochul aide, Sun focused on business development, Asian American affairs, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. All right, well, the New York Post said it, right? Another one of these weirdo DEI hires is in the crosshairs of the FBI, and you have to be really bad to be in the crosshairs of the FBI because they, too, are completely corrupt. Sun, who attended both Barnard College and Columbia University, left her executive chamber role after 15 months and took a job with the New York State Department of Labor in 2022. She left state service last year after allegedly being fired following evidence of misconduct, a source familiar told the Post. The misconduct was serious enough that it was referred to law enforcement, the source added. So somebody knows something. They're not telling us. And these type of stories just bubble up to the surface. We never get all of the details, but this is just the tip of the iceberg, I can only assume. right? Like, these people are probably doing so many terrible things, but this is what we hear about. Sun got her start in state government when she started working as chief of staff to then Assemblywoman Grace Ming from Queens, fresh out of college. The aide was then brought into the Cuomo administration mainly to be a community liaison for Queens and the Asian community. Her husband, meanwhile, runs a swanky liquor store in Flushing, Queens, where at least one bottle of wine positioned near the door retailed for $700. He has also incorporated various businesses within the last decade, including one at the beginning of the COVID pandemic called Medical Supplies. Oh, that's almost the headline. That should be up front and center. So you're telling me that this lady's husband, right? So their house got raided and her husband started a new business at the beginning of Rona to sell medical supplies? Efforts to reach both Sun and Hugh weren't immediately successful. The Post has also reached out to Hochul's office and the FBI, but they don't have to answer questions, right? They don't have to tell you what's going on. They're just going to continue, in Cuomo's case, playing grab ass, but in Kickback Kathy's case, cutting backdoor deals so bad that she also, this guy, former Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin, continues to fly under the radar for whatever reason, and she pretended that she didn't know anything about that, and now this lady's going down, and I'm sure Kickback Kathy's going to pretend she didn't know anything about that, when, I can only assume the double crossing, this weirdo departed level stuff is going on in there. While it's all happening, the border, north and south, the borders, I should say, north and south, are being completely overrun by illegals.